Hello my friends, my name is Tim Johnson. Just make a short video today about something that's very relevant at this time of the year, and that is relapse prevention. We're entering into a period now which is very difficult for a lot of people. The Christmas time, time of celebration, where of course alcohol is very prevalent, and people tend to celebrate and party, and there's office parties, and drugs and alcohol are around all the time in various situations. And it can be a very testing time, particularly if you're newly sober and it's perhaps your first Christmas of experiencing life without drugs or alcohol. And I just want to give you a few little tips, I suppose, and they're relevant not just at Christmas time, but any time really. I think the thing is with relapse, as I've found out over the last couple of years, is that it doesn't matter how much sobriety you've got. You know, you can have a few weeks, you can have a few years, you can have a lot longer and still be very susceptible to falling backwards and deteriorating into a relapse of sorts, however long that may last or however you may deal with that. And a few pointers to watch out for, really. Of course, Christmas time is a time of, you have to be aware of your surroundings. And if you're not feeling confident in your sobriety at this particular moment, it may be wise to avoid certain situations and certain places and perhaps certain people even, and protect your sobriety that way. But hopefully, you know, if you're strong enough and you realise the signs, then you can still, of course, enjoy parties and family celebrations and whatever time of year, not just Christmas, where alcohol is flowing, and you'll still enjoy yourself and learn to enjoy yourself more than you perhaps did before, because you're aware of your surroundings, you're in the moment, you're enjoying the situation, and not in a fog of alcohol or drugs and making a fool of yourself and waking up the next morning regretting everything that you've done or said, or not even knowing what you've done or said. Things to watch out for. Your mind can play all sorts of tricks on you, you know, and without even realizing it, you know, you can start falling backwards. You know, like I say, doesn't matter how long sobriety you've got, little things can chip away at it without you realizing it if you're not the watcher of your thoughts. And I've talked about this in previous videos. And please subscribe, like, share the videos. It just helps more people see them. And hopefully they'll help more people, and that's the purpose of them. There's 380 something on the channel now, so plenty to choose from, plenty of subjects. And as I say, I've talked about negotiating with your brain in videos before, and being the watcher of your thoughts. I think the biggest thing for me is letting go of stuff that I have no control of, because I was always the sort of person who thought I could control everything, and when things didn't go my way, then I would get angry and have regrets and frustrated, and this would lead me down some very dark paths. I mean, for instance, at the moment for me, Christmas is quite a difficult time this year for me, as I'm in Spain appealing my residency at the moment, which means I can't leave Spain, and won't be spending Christmas with my family for the first time for many years this Christmas. But they're all coming here in January to spend, that'll be my Christmas, and that's fine. But the fact that I'm not seeing my grandchildren in particular, and haven't even met one of them yet because of this situation, could lead me and could have led me down some very dark paths. And these are the things that you have to sit and think about. You know, I have absolutely no control over the situation, so I can't punish myself by going backwards and punish everyone else around me, and my family in particular, by going backwards, getting angry, upset, resentful, and all the things surrounding the situation that I could get. And of course, an element of loneliness creeps in as well. You feel alone out here, and you have to be the watcher of your thoughts, and you have to think about not all of that, what you haven't got, and what you're missing, but what you have got, and what you're grateful for, and what's around the corner. And for me, I've got the most amazing, loving family and supportive family that I could possibly wish for. Beautiful grandchildren. My family's healthy and strong. I'm healthy. I'm living in a beautiful place, and they're all coming here in January. So I'm not going to sit back and have regrets, but it could happen. And these are the things you can't let your mind slip backwards and drag you down because anger, resentment, loneliness, all these things, as the old adage is, halt, isn't it? Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. All these things, particularly lonely, I feel, and angry, they're two really important ones there, because loneliness is a terrible thing and leads people down the relapse path. And I think the thing is, you have to recognize that. And it is really difficult sometimes, if you're alone, to get out and about and meet people and make the effort to get out and about and make new friends. And that's something I've concentrated on, and I've made loads of new friends. And in fact, a couple that live here, I've made friends, made the effort, to get to know them, and they've invited me for Christmas lunch. So, it doesn't matter how old you are or what situation you're in. You can always deal with lonely, at some level. I'm not saying it's easy, particularly if you're housebound or you've got stuff going on, and particularly COVID, and you can't travel to see relatives. It can get extremely lonely, extremely frustrating, and very upsetting. And I can understand people trying to numb that feeling by going backwards, but that's not a good move. Because as we all know, where a relapse leads to, it's always 1,000 times worse, a relapse, than your actual addiction itself, because your body has got used to being without again. And the shock of the quantity of alcohol, because it's always worse when you relapse, can lead you, it can kill you. To put it bluntly, it's, the same with drugs, the same with whatever drug your drug of choice is. It's always much more aggressive, and your addiction's much worse when you go back into it again. And of course, it may numb your feelings for a very short period of time, but at the end of the day, things are 1,000 times worse when you're back in addiction again. The feelings of depression, loneliness, anger, frustration, resentment, and all the things that may have led you backwards are all magnified 1,000 times when you go back into addiction, whatever your addiction is. And of course, trying to stop again is so much harder and so much more punishing on your body. That withdrawal from that substance or alcohol or drugs is 1,000 times worse than anything you'll have been used to before. It's awful. So you have to be the watcher of your thoughts. You have to watch out for hungry, angry, lonely, tired. You have to watch out, particularly for that anger, hunger, resentment. You have to learn to what you can and can't control. There isn't much in life you can control. Apart from your thoughts and your actions. And I've said it 1,000 times before. You can definitely control your thoughts, and you can definitely control your actions, and of course the consequences of your actions follow that. But nothing else really is in your control, particularly a lot of bad things that happen in your life, whether it be illness to a family member, yourself, or situation you're in your work, or there's very little that's within your control. And you have to come to realise what is and isn't, and let go of what isn't in your control, and stop yourself falling backwards. And the most important thing of all, what I'll say about preventing relapse is that when you feel these thoughts coming into your head, and you know, some people say you don't recognize them, but you do actually recognize them. You know, when you start obsessing over what it'd be like to have a drink again or a drug again, and to numb all these horrible feelings that you may be feeling. You know when you start like that, and that obsession takes hold of you. The thing is, when you sort of recognize that thing happening, is to have a support network in place at some level. Extremely fortunate. I have a fantastic family who will listen to me, and I perhaps haven't used that resource in the past when things have happened like a relapse I've had before, but I certainly will be doing from now on. If I ever feel these thoughts coming into my head, then I shall be talking to them, and that's the most important. And that support network you have in place, whether it be a group, whether you're in AA or NA or whatever it is, you have a sponsor or whatever that, if that's your thing, Smart Recovery, groups on Facebook, whatever it is, friends, family, talk, open your mouth, talk, whether it's on the phone, whatever it is, but talk, because if you don't do that and you bottle up these feelings, you will relapse, and because that obsession will grab hold of you, and there's nothing you can do to fight it if you deal with it early, because it'll take over your every waking thought. And those of you who have relapsed before will know that. From the moment you open your eyes in the morning and to maybe close them again at night, you're obsessed with alcohol, whatever it is, to actually do relapse. So be aware of those thoughts and talk before you take action on them. What you can't control, remember: hungry, angry, lonely, tired. And get out and about and meet people and glory in your sobriety, because the feeling of sobriety, the health you feel, the happiness you feel, the being in the present moment you feel, is beautiful. And when you go backwards and things happen in your life, you forget how wonderful it is to be sober and how strong you've been and what a warrior you've been. And it's a shame to let that all go to waste, because it's bloody hard to get back to where you were again. If you relapse, it's a fight, a real fight. So I hope that's been of some use to you. Be aware over Christmas, and if you have to avoid situations if you're newly sober, then don't feel guilty about it, because you're protecting your sobriety. People and places can sometimes lead you down dark paths if you don't feel strong enough or ready enough to deal with them yet. And those of you who are a bit stronger can have a great time sober at Christmas. Of course you can. Be ridiculous to think otherwise. So Carpe Diem, my friends. Please subscribe, like and share the videos. Much love to you all. Speak soon. Bye-bye.